We have an absolutely perfect story to bring you this morning. So Keith Alexander, former NSA chief who spanned both the Bush and the Obama eras, has a new gig. He's on the Amazon board. Now, a few things you may remember here about Mr. Alexander during his tenure as the face of the NSA. Number one, that he lied about the mass surveillance of American citizens that was exposed by Edward Snowden and by those leaks. He also, by the way, for good measure, said that newspapers should not be publishing any of those documents. We shouldn't be actually sharing with the American people the fact that their data has been collected, and that Snowden is being handled by Russian intelligence, and that he believes that Russia was behind all of this.
This is the perfect nexus of what story did we cover here not even last week or 2 weeks ago, right?
Yes.
Which is that Amazon is hiring intelligence agents in order to spy on its own members to ensure that they're not unionizing. Well, who better to oversee that collection and otherwise than the former NSA director for several years? Keith Alexander really is one of the original architects and runners of this kind of mass surveillance system that we had here in the United States. Recall, I think he was actually forced to apologize to Congress for claiming that, like, dozens of terror plots had been disrupted, and it ended up not being true after Senator Ron Wyden actually pressed him on it. I remember covering it, all of that at the time. Also, what this shows to show you, though, is about Amazon's core business and where they see their growth.
That's right.
It's not just retail salespeople. Remember, a huge amount of their revenue, almost the bulk of their revenue, comes from their Amazon Web Services. They want to sell and have contracts with the Pentagon and have all these contracts where your data, my data, I can't tell you how many organizations and websites that you use, that we use every day, are hosted on Amazon Web Services.
Right.
That's what I think this is even more about than anything else.
There are so many layers here because you're exactly right. The whole reason to bring this guy on is because of his connections in the defense industry and in the Pentagon, and hopes that they can get those contracts. Amazon was a lead candidate for this $10 billion cloud computing contract with the Pentagon that they ultimately lost down on. To Microsoft, that's a whole thing. So clearly they brought him in, and it tells you this is a guy who should be absolutely disgraced. I mean, he lied to the American people about what was going on, just bold-faced lied to it, was exposed by Edward Snowden. And what are the consequences?
Nothing.
Lots of money. He's still in good graces with the people at the Pentagon, all the folks in the defense industry, gets this plum gig at the heights of American society. Like, this person should be totally beyond the pale, completely disgraced, and instead he fails up to one of the most prestigious posts in one of the supposedly great American companies. And the other thing that's really ironic here is that the mass surveillance techniques that were exposed compromised many of these massive tech players, though notably not Amazon.
Yeah, there you go.
All of their competitors, but notably not Amazon.
Interesting, huh?
Yeah, indeed. All right, more Rising for you after this.